Hello, welcome to the FPL Good Guys podcast. Let me just play a little intro sound.
The FPL Good Guys.
There we are. We've had our little cough outro. How are you guys doing today?
Fucking terrific. How are you guys?
I'm good, thank you, mate.
How are you, BV?
Nearly crumbled already.
It's a
He
good
who
start.
should not be must be named. As me and Joe made a Voldemort joke in the last episode.
We love a bit of continuity.
Yeah, because everyone who's watching this one's watched the last one, 100%.
Well, yeah, because fuck all people are watching this one too.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. A little risque.
Demonetized within the first 30 seconds.
Right, what are we doing? What's the podcast, BB?
So this is our Gameweek 3 podcast where we'll review our Gameweek 2 scores and we'll look ahead. So two of us, Joe and BV, have transfers in the bank. So we have to make a transfer this week. Dan will run through how his transfer went from last week and if he has any plans this week. And then we'll piss off.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So who are we starting with? Let's give them what they want. Let's not edge our fans. Let's give it to them.
I mean, I guess we start with our highest game week score.
Joe.
With that being Joe.
Let's get it. 2 weeks on the trot, baby.
Joe, would you like me to read out your team for the podcast listeners, or are you capable of doing that?
I reckon I've got that on the dome. I reckon I can do it. Right, okay, so in goal, Aaron Ramsdale pulled through with a massive 1-pointer for the boys. At the back, I had Trent and Robbo, who unfortunately didn't get a clean sheet or any attacking returns. Though Trent got a bonus, right? Which
Yeah.
I've got Reece James, who managed to get a goal, which was nice. And Cancelo, who got a clean sheet and assist and a bonus point to get a nice 11 points for me. In the midfield, I had Salah, who didn't do anything. I had Rodrigo, obviously, who's my big differential pick, who's pulled through for me so far. Is he the top scorer in the game so far? He scored 3 goals, which is the most in the league, which is nice. Good old Rodrigo. Martinelli in there as well, who is picking up some more points again. And who is my fourth midfielder? I really no. Bailey, Leon. Bailey.
Yeah.
Who could forget Leon? Yeah, I forgot Bailey because I'm getting rid of him this week, which I'll go on to in a minute. And then up top, Captain Haaland and Gabriel Jesus, who got a wonderful 19-point haul for everybody, to be fair, so it's not a big gain. I'm just glad I've got him.
Because you haven't transferred out Bailey yet, you've taken a hit on the price, because obviously his price has gone down. How do you feel about that?
It's a bit of a shame, but it's not going to affect me massively, to be honest. I'm going to make the same transfer I would have made anyway.
Fair.
But I mean, I'd rather not have my team value go down, obviously. But
see, interestingly, if I didn't make my transfer from Bailey, a bit of foreshadowing, when I did, I now wouldn't be able to afford it.
Wow.
That's fun. Well, I guess it makes sense for us in our specific situations then, I guess. But yeah, Bailey's making his way out of the team. But yeah, should I go on to that now, or should we?
Well, yeah. Tell us what's your plan this week.
Yeah. Sure. All right. So I, like BV, have 2 free transfers because I rolled last week. So I mean, to be fair, something that is an option. I mean, it probably shouldn't, but I could roll again. And just keep 2 free transfers, but the only benefit that would have is that I'd have less transfers, so my rank would be better at the end of the season by having made 1 less transfer. But I mean, ultimately, that's not a huge difference. So I am going to make a transfer. So what you'll have?
It's just you never want to burn a transfer, even if it's
Yeah.
I don't really have very many fires, to be honest. I can bench Bailey and play Neto Williams against Everton, and that'd be fine.
You can surely look around for value in points, rather than burn your transfer.
Well, it's not a burn. It is a little ranked game, but no, I get your point. I am going to make a transfer. So the options that I've got, so I've got $1 million in the bank, as we know. So I could go up from Archer on the bench to up to a 5.5 striker, but there's not really anyone that interests me in and around there. I could go up from Pereira, but I might as well go up from Bailey at that stage and have a bit more money and get rid of an asset who's not playing. Pereira does have a knock, by the way, but it's minor, so he's expected to play the next game. I could go up from Neto Williams up to a 5 million defender, which is actually quite a lot of options there.
Yeah.
So that's a solid shout, in honesty, is to have a look around that 4.55 range. There's definitely value there in like your Trippiers, your Walkers, maybe like Dunk from Brighton, because Brighton I think they've only conceded 4 shots across these first 2 games, and 1 from inside the box, which is nuts. That's like really good. I think that's what I've just read.
How many clean sheets have they kept?
They kept 1 against United.
And against Newcastle, so they've kept 2 clean sheets so far.
Wow, man.
Let me double check.
Ramsdale's really been shit. He's not been shit, but
Brighton have conceded 4 shots so far. So 3 of which were in the box and 1 was outside. That's been bettered by just Man City, and they've got a lovely set of fixtures coming up. So I am eyeing the Brighton defence potentially, but instead, what I'm going to do, or what I'm thinking I'm going to do at the moment, is get Gross. I'm going to go up to Pascal Gross from Leon Bailey.
Do you want to know something about Gross? I actually wanted Gross, but I couldn't afford him by 0.1 mil. Like, I just straight up priced out, so no Gross for me. No, I
mean, Gross is very appealing to me for a few reasons. So any of you who follow the Instagram or have come from the Instagram will know that he was one of my ones to watch after game week 1. After racking up a load of XG against United, which obviously isn't much of a sample size, but it's that combined with his creativity, which I think made him quite attractive. And even though he didn't return at all against Newcastle, he had an expected goal involvement of 1.1 in that game, which, I mean, combine that with the Man United game, he's got the most expected goal involvement of any player in the league right now. As well, he tops Fantasy Football Scouts predicted points over the next 6 game weeks for the 6 million midfielders and under, which makes him a nice switch from Bailey if you've got that extra mil in the bank like I do, or you want to rejig your teams another way, maybe downgrade someone like, I don't know, a Robbo or any other fires that you might have.
How much is he? 5.6?
Gross is 5.6, yeah. So
yeah.
Probably won't be able to go straight from Bailey because most of you won't have $1 million in the bank.
Most of you won't be as rich as Joe. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, even I don't know if any of you out there follow FPL, mate. I think he's a top guy. Also, his first name's Dan, which is great. But anyway, because he's actually changing his tune on Gross too, with his reasons being that with this game where he blanked, because apparently what the Instagram was saying about his attacking threat getting at the back stick, he was still doing that in the second game, and he wasn't doing this the season before. And I think Mopé's on his way out, which is probably good because it's fucking Mopé. Like, his attacking threat, essentially, bottom line is, it's increasing because he's playing in more advanced positions of the pitch, and he's still a fucking creative baller. So, yeah.
And he's on set pieces. Sorry, Brandon.
Yeah, and because obviously Mopé does look like he's imminently out to Nottingham Forest, out of all places. It means that Gross will probably be on penalties, so that is quite nice. So yeah, 5.6 for someone that's on pens. It's an upgrade on Neto, is what I see it as.
I'm a big fan, and they've got really nice fixtures, as I mentioned earlier as well. I actually quite like this West Ham away game that they've got coming up because West Ham have not looked brilliant. They should have beaten Forest.
They've just won 3-1 tonight.
Have they? Exactly. They look. What was their first game? I've forgotten who they played. Who did they play?
City.
Oh, you can look bad against City, to be fair. But you want to beat a Forest, ideally, and they just couldn't stick it in. So yeah, I don't mind Gross against them. Brighton looked really good against Newcastle. They should have won. So yeah, I'm happy with Gross. I think that's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Cool. Is your bench still going to be the same? Ward, Neco Williams, Pereira, and Archer?
Yeah, just the one transfer for me this week. I've got the money to do it. I'll keep 2 for next week, I suppose. So yeah, looking quite good at the moment.
Should we go into your team then, Dan?
Yeah, that's game with me. I mean, it's why we're here.
Well, also for me and Darren.
Yeah. No. So, do you want me to run through my performance, boys, last week?
BV.
Oh.
For fuck's sake.
Now, in between the sticks, I had Dean Henderson, a differential. The experts, they didn't go with Dean Henderson. Thanks to my insight. If you saw my goalkeeper analysis video, if you've seen numerous claims I've made on TikTok, for example, under the guise of the FPL good guys, you'll know I back this baller. 14 points. Now, sure, Forest coulda, shoulda, woulda conceded. But first point you've got to make about Dean Henderson is he's a good keeper. He's going to get you lots of save points because, that was one of my points for bringing him in. And the penalty save, good keepers save penalties, bad keepers don't. My guy's great. But yeah, 14 points. So I'm just really thrilled with that. Amazing. Anyway, moving on. Trent, Robbo, 3.2 points. Not great. But like Joe said, nice to see Trent got a bonus, even if it is trivial. Cancelo, 11-pointer. Bish, bash, bosh. Nice. Andreas, 3-pointer. Not great, but that was a tactical 3-pointer because I played him instead of Doherty, who got 0 points anyway.
Better than Bailey as well, who just got 1 point.
Some would say I should have played my first choice bench of Neto Williams for 7 points, but Martinelli, 8 points. Nice return. Salah didn't do anything. Everyone owns Salah. Saka, 2 points. But, if you've seen the Arsenal attack, I don't know if either of you two boys watched the Arsenal game versus...
Mate, Xhaka looks so much more dangerous than Saka.
No. But first of all, Arsenal's attack, silky smooth.
No.
And, I've said this before. I said this last year about Saka. Ball progressions, he was getting it.
That makes him good for bonus.
Yeah. And this time it was Jesus' go to sling the shit. Next time it's going to be Saka's go, maybe. So he's not a trash. And I fucking love that man so much. So,
Saka's expected goal involvement so far this season is 0.3.
No, it's 0.7. His XGI?
Oh, my bad. Sorry, last match. My bad. In a 4-2 win, his expected goal involvement was 0.3. He just wasn't involved, really.
Yeah, but it goes in ebbs and flows. And I think if you have Saka, keep your faith with it. If you've had Saka since game week 1, you got 6 points first game week, and one blank. One blank isn't panic mode because he got a return for you in the first game. So, bish, bash, bosh. Bailey got a 1-pointer. Not good, to be honest with you. Jesus, 19-pointer. We all love that, but we all own Bailey. Then Haaland, Captain Haaland, 10 points. Not great, but it was always a coward's choice, and I'll admit it. I'm a coward. I pick Haaland.
Yeah. How do you feel about that Haaland Kane? Because you obviously hate Harry Kane, but he's just really nailing that now.
He outscored Haaland points-wise by 4 points, so I did lose points going to Haaland, but I'm okay with that because I didn't transfer in Haaland for tactical genius. I transferred him in because I'm a coward. We've got to remember that.
And also, you got to think you probably wouldn't have captained Kane, so really you wouldn't have gained much there.
Yeah, because I would have captained Salah, who got 3 points less. So really, I've just lost out on one measly little point, and it's only 1 point loss. And if I didn't do that, I'd have Harry Kane in my team. He's a virus. He's a hate him. And then you got the bench. Ward 1-pointer. Archer Doherty 0. First choice Neto Williams. But Forest weren't going to should have conceded. And I can back Henderson, but 2 Forest players, nah. You're all right, mate. I don't want 2 Forest defenders in my starting 11. Just no.
I mean, and especially after that West Ham game, on another day they concede 4 or 5.
But my only big headache, and you boys can help me discuss this, and I can go to you, BV, because you might have a similar problem. Now Everton away for Forest isn't a bad fixture. I'm happy for Henderson there, but the thing is, Henderson, he can also get save points, he can get bonus. There's so many things Henderson can do. Now, sure, Neco Williams is attacking threat, but I don't want 2 eggs in the Forest defence. But Doherty, will he start next week? He might not. And honestly, he's making my heart ache. How
So,
do you feel about Doherty?
who is your current bench going into this game week?
Yeah, because I haven't spoken about my transfer, but I'll speak about it after we speak about Doherty. My current bench is Doherty in the starting 11 at Wolves at home and Neco Williams against Everton away, because it's not a bad fixture.
Wait, so who's on your bench?
Neco Williams, Andreas, and Archer.
Right.
Right.
Have you got any? Oh no, you've made your transfer. Sorry. Right. Do you want to talk about your transfer? Oh, are we going to talk about Doherty?
Yeah, let's hear your transfer. So, are you playing Leon Bailly?
Oh, no. He's gone. He's already gone. Now, It's a bit of a fun transfer I've made.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know, first, he's owned by... Guess the percentage. Let's play a little game. Guess the percentage.
I'll go 0.7.
I'm going to go 1.2.
1.4. It is Eberechi Eze.
Okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. Tell us your thought process.
Now, his XGI so far is like 0.69 between the two games, so it's all right. Not like popping, but he has played Arsenal at home and Liverpool away.
Yeah.
And he actually got the assist in Liverpool away, threaded like through pass. Now, we must remember, I was already priced out of gross. But, you know, being a little thinker that I am, I kept digging. And also, I looked on the OneFootball app and what's this guy's name? Patrick Vieira. He was raving about Eze. So he's probably going to start next game. Now, if you look at his fixtures, game week 4, Man City away. I don't really want to play him for that. But then game week 5's all right. It's Brentford at home. It's a bit of a tussle, this. I didn't want to buy Leeds players because they've got Chelsea next game. Could buy an Aronson, but he's not going to do much. However, Aston Villa at home next game. Aston Villa haven't been great so far this season. As like a punt for a game week, it's not necessarily like a long-term pick, and you know, potentially bench him against City at home, bring him back on for Brentford, and then maybe transfer him out altogether. But Aston Villa at home, I think, you know, double-digit haul. Could it be on? Yes, please. Thank you.
I don't mind that, because I think early on this is where we can go for these sort of punty players. We know we're going to wildcard soon, so it's not a catastrophe if anything goes wrong, really. And you're punting with low value players anyway. And if they do well, you gain a nice bit of value. So, and obviously we know Leon Bailly might continue sliding in price, especially game week 4 and 5 when he's got the tougher fixtures. So yeah, I think that's quite cool. I like the Eze move. The only thing is potential rotation.
Yeah, but he should still play. He looks like he's in fine form. When the manager backs him, you know. Oh, do you know what this reminds me of? You know, last season, one of my successes was my Bernardo Silva pick in the Christmas period before he popped off. And the final thing that made me get him in was hearing in a Pep Guardiola interview, he said, in the way Silva's playing, he's undroppable right now. And I thought, well, that's good enough for me. But I just did find it funny, Joe, how at one point you saw the scout say a few weeks later, if you remember, when it said, ignore the underlying stats, just get him in. It sounded like such a fucking like snake oil salesman or something. Scam.
I got him in and he returned nothing for me.
Yeah. You look at the underlying stats, man.
I just had to cave. I needed a City. I remember I took a -8 or something like that, or I was going to take a -8. I was going to get Foden and like Watkins, but I chickened out and then ended up getting Bernardo Silva for just the -4, and yeah, it cost me about 6. I would have got top 10k.
But you didn't.
Wait, but the viewers think you got top 10k because that's what we put on all the socials.
Well,
no,
you know,
it isn't.
I am 10k.
Yeah. We didn't say top. We don't want to lie.
I'm not
People can
top,
find that out.
but I am 10k.
Oh, that's
He's top 11k, but you got 10k.
Oh, that's such.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's maybe a little bit deceiving.
What? Say he's not. No. I'm not top 10k. I'm 10k. I'm not top 10.
Yeah. Well, it's like if I was 33k because I got 33 point something k. I think it's fine.
Yeah, there's no lies.
Yeah, about Eze, I just had a couple of things to say. I really wanted to go to Zaha this week if I could, if my team had enough rejig space, because I quite like Palace. I think they're quite fast. I think Zaha especially looks really dangerous. I think what he's done in these first two very difficult games. I think this Villa game is massively appealing. I think as well, if I could go to Kulusevski, I would, because Wolves are terrible. Spurs are looking really dangerous in attack. So I think that could be a cricket score, that game, to be honest. I don't want to go without any Spurs attackers, but I can't really get up there.
Oh.
But Eze, I think, yeah, he looks like a good feeder for Zaha. He's never been huge on goal threat. I mean, he can pull some magic out of the hacks. He's a very good footballer.
You know, because his XGI is 0.69, but his XG between these first two games, I mean, not like world class or anything, but 0.49 XG between these first two games, which is actually a little bit of, goal threat, because you'd expect more of that to have leaned towards the XA. But there's actually a good, nice dollop of XG in there. Quite appealing. So,
yeah. Fair play. I'm actually surprised at that. Yeah. All right. No, I don't mind the Eze pick. I mean, did you look at other picks and Eze rose above, or?
Well, I also looked at the thing with players like this, because one of my, a little lesson for you. Always good to look at the fixtures for the cheap players, because you don't really want to look at the underlying stats too much necessarily. You want a player who's critical to their team, who's got a good fixture, which was like my thinking last year when I brought in Ismail Assar against a few good fixtures, and I actually got a 15-pointer, and then I think I got a blank, but then I got an 8-pointer, because Watford were, in rightfully so, because they went down, dross. Shit, not good. But Ismail Assar was their main attacking threat. So when they were playing a team even worse than them, it's like someone's got to score. They may be a bad team, but someone's got to score. And if it is, then it's Ismail Assar. So I think fixtures play a big key in these budget players for these lower teams.
Target Norwich was a strat.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyway, your Doherty conundrum. So, can you walk us through what your starting team is next week, Dan? And then we'll talk about whether Doherty should maybe slot in or not.
Well, I've got Henderson against Everton away. I've got Trent in Robbo against United at home, but it is United, so hopefully they can, get a result. Cancelo Newcastle away. Currently Doherty Wolves at home. Now, it's just a case of whether he starts, because he's got a good attacking threat in, a good defensive threat, but if the guy doesn't start, it breaks your heart. Martinelli, Bournemouth away. Captain Salah against United away. Saka against Bournemouth away. Eze Villa at home. Jesus against Bournemouth away. And Haaland, no Siri, shut up, against Newcastle. Yeah, fuck off. And then Haaland against Newcastle away. So currently Doherty's playing against Wolves at home, and I've got Neco Williams against Everton away on my bench. I've got Pereira against Brentford at home on my bench, and then a useless little Archer against Crystal Palace.
That's actually quite tough.
I reckon my gut tells me to wait it out with Doherty. I reckon it's Wolves. He's returning to Molyneux.
Well, yeah, if he plays, he could. If he plays, that's a great fixture.
Yeah,
that makes you happy. I just really hope he plays, because Conte doesn't like Henderson. Conte hates Royale. Royale is dog shit. We all know that. I looked at the player ratings last game. Do you think Royale did well? No, he didn't. He's a liability. Conte knows that. It's just some fitness issues over Doherty. He wants to go to Doherty. Jed Spence is for the future. Conte didn't want Jed Spence. He knows Royale's a liability. Please, because that's the thing. Doherty, he will do well at some point this season when he actually comes into the bloody team. Just please, I just really want it to start. It's burning my heart. It's such a conundrum.
The issue is, Conte is also a momentum manager. I feel like he'll just go with the momentum, and I feel like until Royale does show his liability nature, he won't be dropped. But then at the same time, Doherty needs fitness to obviously keep coming back, so that he's ready. So you do basically just risk a 1-pointer. But unless you really think that you want to go double Forest defence there, maybe you just take the 1-pointer and gamble. It's not
I mean,
the
there
end
is
of the world.
Pereira against Brentford, but then, because that's the thing, if Doherty did start, it's all a gamble, it's all risky, because if Doherty starts, he probably returns. If they're all guaranteed to start, Doherty is your best bet, but obviously he might not start.
I think the upside on Doherty is worth sticking him in the team.
Well, I think realistically, what I'm going to do is just to tie this up in a bow, is that I'm not going to make another transfer. I'm not taking a hit. If I'm not playing Doherty, I'm either going to draft in Neco Williams or Andreas even. I think, obviously, Andreas got his knock, but you can see close to time whether he looks fresh and ready to start. I think it's a case of you've just got to look at the Conte Friday evening job of seeing what's he saying in these press conferences, what's the latest predicted starting 11, just finding any morsel of Conte, talk to me about Doherty, what's going on, and make a decision on the fly, and then draft someone in from the bench if it's not looking good or it's looking doubtful. I think that's all you can do. That's all anyone can do, really.
Yeah, I think if I had Perisic, I might also play Perisic this week. I think the thing is, the only difference. So I guess we'll move on to my team, because obviously I've also got the same. I've got the same conundrum there. So, oh crap. BV's team. Dan's gone fully oversized. So in goal, I have Ramsdale for his 1-pointer, just like Joe. I've got Cancelo, 11-pointer, Trent, 3-pointer, Robertson, 2-pointer, James, 7-pointer, Salah, 2-pointer, Martinelli, 8-pointer, and then Bailly for his 1-pointer. The only difference is I've got Neto for his 3-pointer, Haaland for a 10-pointer, and Jesus for a 19-pointer. So pretty much a template-ass team. There's not much difference there. My differential is Doherty from the template, but the issue is obviously that Doherty is not played at all. So I've got no differential from the template.
What a great template breaker that is. The guy that doesn't play.
And yeah. Oh, sorry, this is lagging a bit. My plan for this week is to get rid of Doherty. To be honest, I'm done with him. 2 free transfers. I think I'm gonna just shake my team up. There's 2 boys I don't like in there, and it's Doherty and Neto. I'm not saying I won't come back to Doherty.
Oh,
but
you don't mind Bailey?
He's already dropped in value. There's not much I can do with him.
Yeah.
He could drop again.
Yeah, man, I'll take that. But yeah, I don't want to take it.
I love it.
but I'd just be making a transfer for him to avoid the value, whereas I'd rather go for points elsewhere. You know, it'd just be avoiding the 0.1, which I'd want to aim to go elsewhere. So I'm going to be bringing in for Doherty this week. I'm going to be bringing in. I'm actually going to do this live on the stream.
I just made my transfer live as well. Gross is in the team. Yeah, and I just did it while you were talking. Dan, I couldn't bother to listen.
So I'm going to do Neto to Pascal Gross.
Are you doing Gross as well? That seems the same.
But no. I have got a difference. Because then I'll be doing.
Yeah, he's got Bailey.
But then I'll be benching. Oh, I've not changed stream on this. Sorry. I shall be benching Leon Bailly because I'll be doing Doherty to Cucurella and starting Cucurella this week. So I'll have double Chelsea defence.
I was thinking about Cucurella, you know.
Yeah, I just think. Oh, sorry, you cut out there, Joe.
No, I didn't say anything more. I just went, ooh.
Oh, yeah. I just think have you heard what Tuchel said about Chilwell? He's got some fitness issues, and he just said that Cucurella is looking sharp. Cucurella obviously got an assist in the Spurs game. I think Chelsea are looking pretty fiery, and now with the signings they've made, I rate them again defensively. Koulibaly looks good. Koulibaly is looking good, but at 0.5 mil cheaper and on corners, I've got to go Cucurella. And yeah, I just think it'll be a good way to tick over and keep that 5 mil price slot that I want in defence.
I actually don't know how I feel. I feel a little, risky in the fact that I don't have James, and I have been thinking to myself, I'd quite like to, be in a position where I do have James, but he is 6 mil. I have Doherty. Oh, great. But yeah, no James, and that feels a little bit touch and go. Hopefully,
wait. So, Bam, is the difference between yours and my teams now that I have Rodrigo starting and you have Cucurella starting?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really like that very much. Cucurella's, he's a positive-looking player. I can see Rodrigo just regressing and not really doing anything.
No, I do think Rodrigo is in good form, and he should keep it up.
You'd back Cucurella to outscore him this next week. Of course, Leeds and Chelsea play each other. Your boys go head-to-head.
We should watch that game.
They do go head-to-head.
Imagine if you watched it like recorded reaction, but then you just cropped it out, so just your reaction to the key moments. And that'd be a fun little video.
That would actually, to be fair. No, I like the Cucurella pick, actually. I think at 5 million, that's a nice way into the Chelsea defence if you think he's going to play each game anyway. Chelsea, obviously, top 4 team. Maybe top 4 team.
I don't think they'll get top 4.
They're looking alright, to be honest.
Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool and City will all come higher. That's your top 4 for you.
Well, yeah, Arsenal, Chelsea is going to be the battle for 4th, at least it seems anyway.
Arsenal coming higher than Chelsea this season.
They crumbled last season, man.
To be fair, the thing about Arsenal is they could crumble against bigger teams. Like City could spank them 5-0, but they look so good. But they could get spanked. But I'm backing it. I'm backing them. They've got fucking Saka in too. I love them.
I'm not fully sold on Arsenal just yet. I think they looked okay against Palace, but it's quite good. It's quite easy for a team like Arsenal, who are quite free flowing in attack, to look good against Leicester, because Leicester are terrible defensively. Like you say, it'd be interesting to see what they do against some of the big boys. But no, anyway, Cucurella, good pick at 5-0. I mean, I don't know if Alonso's fit at all, and Cucurella could maybe even play left centre back.
Yeah, he could play left.
Well, Alonso's obviously got his move to Barcelona pretty much secured, hasn't he?
So, is that happening?
There's some shit how he's fluked that one, considering his ability.
Alonso's quite good.
His ability isn't bad.
Yeah, but it's not Barcelona standard.
Well, it's good.
Barcelona aren't right.
Yeah, but not prime Barcelona. But no,
we're not in prime Barcelona.
Yeah. It's a valid point.
Lionel Messi, I'll give you that.
So I've done that on stream, and it's got me 0.3 remaining in the bank. I've taken a loss of 0.2 mil in team value.
Why? What have you done? Where's the 0.2 come from?
Because Doherty's gone down by 0.1 and Bai's gone down from 0.1. But
I was going to get a heart attack. I thought you were going to say Doherty went down 0.1 again.
But no, then Gross is obviously 5.6 as well. So, 0.2 has been carved out of my 0.5 mil in the bank.
So I take it you don't feel confident on Doherty starting against Wolves?
If I had him, I'd play him. But I've got 2 free transfers. I was going to make a move anyway. Cucurella. It was basically either getting rid of Doherty or getting rid of Neto, and I've just decided why get rid of one of them when you can get rid of both.
And you're happy to just have Bailey chill around, because he seems like a virus too.
I mean, he's a fire to put out later. He's not pressing. He might do something in the next game against Palace. You never know.
There's an argument he starts against Palace, because in Gerrard's post-match press conference, he said the reason they played the formation that they did was because Everton played three at the back, and so they didn't want Ings to get isolated up front or something, so they changed the formation and Bailey dropped to the bench. So they might switch that formation back, and Bailey comes back in because Gerrard has been singing his praises. So the hold of Bailey isn't actually terrible. But yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen if he keeps getting benched or not.
To be fair, I guess it's probably an equal risk in terms of whether Bailey starts compared to whether Doherty starts, almost.
Yeah, I think so. My Neto to Gross move isn't guaranteed. My Doherty to Cucurella move is pretty much guaranteed. Just obviously, I will wait for press conferences. But I think I could also just play Bailey this week and just give him. I did say I'd give him 3 weeks. It was already in my plan to play him up till game week 3 and just see what he could do. And then I've obviously got Neto again then for week 4. Can't remember who Neto's got, but I know this Spurs fixture was Neto's worst fixture in his run of opening 6. And Wolves have had made some signings, so they might get back on the upward trail and pick up again. So I'm not terribly adverse to Neto, but I just think maybe if Gross is kicking about, I try and get in while he's in this form with Purple Patch and seize upon it. It sort of reminds me about a few seasons ago when Lingard had just gone to West Ham and just sort of like...
I mean, that was an immense purple patch. Like, that was probably a god tier purple patch. Like, the purplest of purple patches.
Yeah, I remember him and Iheanacho at that point of the season were just insane. Like, they were just popping up with double-digit hauls every week.
The thing with like Lingard is, like, when a player goes through a purple patch, they'll usually get like 3 returns in a row. Like, you can kind of see it. They'll get an 8-pointer, maybe a 12-pointer or 15-pointer, and then maybe like a 6-pointer or a 7-pointer or some shit like that. Lingard, in like 10 game weeks or some shit, he returned in like 9 of them. Like, that was one hell of a purple patch.
Well, I mean, as well, for the goal that Forrest scored against West Ham, Lingard really should have just scored beforehand. He had a clear chance, he just scuffed it, and it went to Awoniyi, and he scored. So Lingard maybe one to watch as well.
At 6.5 mil though, he's a bit on the spenny side.
I think he's just 6. He's just 6 mil, isn't he? I don't think he's 6.5.
It's just 6.
I'd want him at 5.5 mil to consider.
I'd want Forest to look a bit more impressive as well. Like, they got slapped by West Ham. They did not deserve to win that game at all.
Lots of signings inbound. Lots and lots of signings.
Yeah,
they're going to sign Awa, or the one from Leon.
Leon got again. Awa, wow.
Yeah.
They might get Dennis. They've
got Dennis. Here we go.
They've got Dennis.
They've also been linked with Ismail Lassar, but they've been linked with a lot of people, so that's only a link.
Ismail Lassar was linked with someone else this morning. Another Prem team. I want to say West Ham. Might be someone else.
I quite like Ismail Lassar, but that might just because he did well for me in the few weeks I had him last season.
Oh, and also in 2 game weeks, Newcastle do become an option. They've just come into it because they're also signing João Pedro. Watford are really being shelled. Shelled and gutted.
There wasn't much to gut either.
But yeah.
Wait, who's this Pedro geezer?
João Pedro.
João Pedro was like 5.5 last year. Or was he 5.0?
Don't get confused with prime Barcelona Pedro, though.
I don't know who Pedro is. Like,
João Pedro was his like name on FPL, 2 words.
Yeah, but I still don't know. What position does he play?
Striker.
Up top. He wasn't very good, to be honest. What did you say, Newcastle again?
Yeah, no, actually, I remember in a Ben Foster podcast or something like that, he said that João Pedro is just like the best one in training and stuff like that. Which, take that with a pinch of salt, but he just like dominates in. Or was it could be either João Pedro or Cuco Hernandez, but he really liked one of them.
Excellent analysis here on the FPL.
I know, it's kind of stuck with me. I've just thought, fairs.
Do you know, it's interesting you say that, because I remember Sean, or was it Matty? No, it was Sean Longstaff doing an interview with Joe Linton after a game, and Joe Linton had just had a good game or whatever. And Sean Longstaff was like, look, people need to stop the slander on this guy. He's the best player in training every day. And I was like, oh, Joe Linton, really? And then all of a sudden he's a world beater. So I rate that. That he's, yeah, I'm going to take that on board if he goes to Newcastle and starts getting stuff.
But I would confirm if it was him or Cucurella.
Yeah, imagine that. It's like, yeah, João Pedro, he's come to Newcastle. He looks terrific. And Ben Foster said that Cuco Hernandez is the best. So if that doesn't tell you to get João Pedro, I don't know what.
Yeah, but also I don't know if he'll start.
He won't start, will he? Let's be honest.
So there's our recommendation. Gun with the wind.
A player who won't start might not have been the best player at Watford,
and isn't even in the Premier League yet.
Yeah, let's take
We
it
don't
up
even
about
know
the
the
performance of the podcast.
Yeah, my recommendations haven't been that great. The only ones. Well, I did come on with Kulusevski and he did go 13.
I've got something fun that we can reflect on. Because when we were, I don't know, a handful of days ago when BV was setting up this OBS shit, I asked these two, and which I put on my TikTok, who's your predicted non-premium, so under 10 mil, predicted King of the Week? And I even put a poll out, and people voted in the poll. I think 4 people voted. 3 people said no, that none of these 3 players will get non-premium King of the Week, and 1 person put yeah, and that was an L on him. But Joe picked Jared Bowen, because Forest exceeded the most XG. XG, he was the 4th highest FPL player last season, and his third point, quote unquote, quite good player. He got a blank.
He had an expected goal involvement of 0.1 in that game. So not a great shout from me.
My guy was Jack Harrison, who I think he got an assist.
He did get an
6 points. So he got a return, but it wasn't like terrific.
He's doing a lot of creating, Harrison. I don't mind.
To be fair, I don't even know why I picked him, because he needed to get multiple, because he's a guy for assister. He doesn't really score goals. He's not going to score goals.
Well,
and
he scores goals.
BV picked Ruben Diaz, predicted a 15-pointer because it had it in a clean sheet. He could see the headed goal.
And what did he get in the end? I mean, he got a clean sheet, but did he get any bonus?
We should see who we'll verify, because we'll see which one of our players got the highest for
What I'm actually thinking of a segment here is, if we do this week in, week out, we can have a running tally of our points collected by differential picks.
That's sick.
Diaz got 6 points, and Harrison got 4 points. So
lovely.
So and what did Bowen get? Probably 2 points.
Just 2.
Maybe
even
check.
1.
You can verify.
Yeah. So Bowen got 2 points, Harrison got 4 points, and the winner BV got 6 points.
Not exactly the Kings of the Gameweek.
We could almost have like a tally with a 1 point for Barham, because he got the W.
Yep. Yes, I'll take that. Let's just confirm. We could, because obviously the King of the Game Week this week was Gabriel Jesus, I presume, 19-pointer.
And he was also non-premium King of the Game Week, because he's under 10 mil.
Under 10 mil, that was the threshold, right? Lovely.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd pick Salah's, Haaland's, or boring players. And you can't have
my differential pick outscored Salah and Haaland this week. Ruben Diaz, he was the captain to go for.
I forget Jesus.
Well, game week 3. What do we reckon then?
Non-premium.
Just have a quick look at the fixtures.
Can we put someone make a note that BV got the W for this one, because we should have a tally. It could be a fun.
I'll remember. Don't worry, I'll remember.
Do you know who I should? No, I shouldn't back him. I was going to say Eze. He's good enough for me, but not back into that extent.
All right, I've got an idea on who I'm going to say.
I've got an idea on who I'm going to say.
I think I also know who I'm going to say. Can we first reveal one by one the team that our player plays for.
Sure.
Okay.
Arsenal.
Oh, geez, they're playing Bournemouth.
Crystal Palace. No, it's not what it looks like.
To be fair, I rate what you're going to say, to be fair. All right, go on, Ben, who's yours?
I've kind of got a dilemma. I don't know whether to say Chelsea or Spurs. My heart wants to say Chelsea, but my gut's telling me to say Spurs.
How about you just say one?
I'm gonna go with Liverpool.
what part of your body said Liverpool then?
Yeah, you fucking
You didn't go with his head or his heart.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of?
With my eyes, I just saw United and just thought, ooh.
Oh, to be fair.
Yeah.
Go on then. Well, one of my players, Gabriel Jesus.
You're going with him. You're just going to consistently go with the previous king of the game.
Yeah.
That is not a winning shot.
Yeah. Like a dog chasing a car tire. Yeah, I'm just going to pick the one from before. No, I mean, I'll state my reasoning. So Bournemouth have conceded 19 shots so far this season, which is the joint second most. Arsenal, as Dan say, are looking free-flowing in attack.
Which you were disagreeing with, I'm pretty sure.
No, but against a weaker team. They're playing Bournemouth.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, he's obviously got 2 goals and 2 assists. He's off the back of, looking bright, looking shiny. He's a good captaincy option this week, to be honest. I won't captain him, but some people will. I don't know. I don't want to risk it just yet. Yeah, I want to go for the premiums, keep it nice and template. But Jesus is a good option, and I reckon he's going to be up there.
Dan, who is your Crystal Palace boy?
Yeah, because I was debating an Arsenal player, but I was no, I'm not. It's Zaha. I just think against I'm for a premium, non-premium King of the Week material. You want 2 returns, one of them being a goal, really. And I just think Crystal Palace. I think they can really, tear into the fear of Aston Villa at home, and I believe that. Yeah, Zaha. Because he's Crystal Palace's main man. I went with Eze because he's cheaper and he's a midfielder, and I want him to do something. But if he's doing something, chances are the big man, the main man, Wilfried Zaha, he's going to be the epicenter, the ground zero of the fuckery. So he's going to be my non-premium king of the game week.
He's a great shout, Zaha. I really want him in my team, to be honest. But I don't have the cash.
Yeah. Who's your player, BV?
So... obviously, from Spurs, I would have gone for Kulusevski. I've ruled that out. From Chelsea, I would have gone for maybe Kai Havertz or Reece James.
I really hope Reece James isn't. It made me want to cry. I really hope he isn't. I'd feel really, really, really sad.
But I've chosen Liverpool, and I think with Firmino playing up top, it'll sort of be a classic Liverpool vibe, and I reckon I'm going to go with... It doesn't feel right because it's supposed to be a differential pick, but it's actually just a budget pick, so I'm going with Trent Alexander.
Your audio's cut out.
I don't know how much of that you heard, but they'll be playing classic Liverpool, and my heart just wants to go with Trent, even if he is high-owned.
Oh.
But, yeah, I do think Trent will score. I don't see Man United scoring. But if Liverpool's still playing Nat Phillips in defence, maybe, actually. Now I think about that. Oh, is it too late to change?
You're locked in, man.
You're locked in. You can't just say every player under the sun. Because that's the thing. You'll say every player under the sun, then you'll say, "Oh, I could have gone with him." Well, no shit. You would have to reel off 5 players.
That's what happens when you don't use either your head or your heart when you make a decision.
Yeah.
Because on one that you don't want.
Next, you'll be saying, "Oh, I used my eyes, but if only I used the pick that I used my ears, heart, cock, or just fucking brain with." It's like, oh, brilliant.
Again, the demonetization hits again. And also, we've totally not called me BV. We've totally just kept referring to.
Can we go? Can we give up? It's very hard.
No, you
No,
can't give up.
you can't give up.
It's really hard.
Because one day we'll make a pod where I just get completely called BV and it will be the first successful pod.
You could call him Voldemort.
I'll take Voldemort.
But I'm not going to call him.
I was about to say, yeah, that's what BV stands for. Voldemort. But I mean, it's just. I mean, I could say it. Bear him. Oh, but now I've gave to my own.
That was so good. But do you know what that was? That was like a player just giving the ball away. There's no pressure on him. No one's attacking him. It's like you're Harry Maguire. That's what you are.
Also, I've just realised. I mean, we're approaching an hour. But quickly, who are all your captains this week? That's a big part that no one mentioned.
Yeah.
I'm currently on Mohamed Salah.
I'm currently on Mohamed Salah.
I'm currently on Mohamed Salah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense saying that I picked Liverpool as my differential.
I'm also flashing back to last season when Liverpool beat United and they 5-0'd them.
Oh, and you didn't captain Salah.
I did captain Salah, but I very nearly captained Havertz instead.
Oh, that would have been
that one.
That would have been a season crusher.
Do you know that game was? I think, right. It might have been my happiest I've felt in the year.
You might then.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
I was carry on, Dan.
But yeah, that might have been the happiest I felt in third year. And yeah, I'm getting flashbacks. Mohamed Salah, of course, he actually had a good track record against Crystal Palace and didn't do anything. But he's not going to go up. Please, because I don't want to jinx myself, come up 2 teams twice in a row that he has a good track record against. I actually like that he didn't do anything against Crystal Palace because it's unlikely he's going to return 3 times in a row. But, you know, he could return.
Gameweek 2 curse striked
again.
Yeah. But, oh yeah, I clocked that instantly. I was thinking the whole game. Wow, Gameweek 2, he's done for. Finally, my advice of what was it? Oh yeah, I'm definitely going for Haaland, no matter what the others have said. For Salah or something.
It's almost a shame that you went on the podcast to actually explain the Salah curse.
Did that not get mentioned?
No, you just said,
we forgot
what the others have said. No, on the voice note, you didn't say the reason. You just said you're not going for him. You should have really said the reason, otherwise you'd look smart if you said the reason.
Yeah. I could have even transferred him out, but anyway, I was never going to.
In honesty, obviously we're captaining Salah, but if Salah becomes a little bit weaker, you don't want to captain him all the time. I know Salah's a genuine option. If you don't captain Salah, there's better value. You get rid of him. But I mean, obviously, we're going to captain him this week. He's United, but yeah, no, just
you could get rid of him, Joe. I wouldn't mind that.
I'm not going to just yet, but I think if he's not looking that promising.
I was thinking back, Joe, when you mentioned Salah. I was thinking back to, was it a double game week? We were sat in the Pendle, and you had brought in Jota. You brought in Jota into your team, and we were watching Salah just annihilate United.
The image, isn't it? That.
But I feel like you didn't have him captained for some reason. I know Dan and I got at least like 40 points from him there. He got like a. It was game week 30. So, I think it was the week I bench boosted actually.
To be fair, the thing with like Salah is because like watching the game against Fulham, because he actually got a return against Fulham. Like he was out the game, then suddenly burst into life involved in the game. Like you never like Salah's the sort of player with a flick of the switch, you can suddenly turn on the charm, and then you're wowed. Next thing you know, you're going places.
Well, hopefully our viewers have been wowed this week.
They haven't.
Put a comment if you've enjoyed this, you know.
So that means if we don't get any comments.
Put a comment if you've watched to the end, because I'd be genuinely fucking surprised.
Right. Well, I guess that's a wrap then, guys. I'm approaching the stop record button. Anyone want to say any final words?
Good luck. Good luck on your FPL team.
Best luck, everyone. Like I said, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Do check us out on the Spotify if you're not on Spotify, or YouTube if you're not on YouTube. The Instagram as well,
And the TikTok.
and the TikTok. So our Instagram handle is the same as our YouTube, but the TikTok, just to remind everyone, was cocked up by Dan.
No.
And
Before we change the name.
No. It was cocked up by Dan. And so the title of our TikTok is The Good Guys FPL.
Is it not going to change? I thought it was going
It
to
will
change.
change at some point, but as Joe said in the last podcast, no, just ignore that because it's not changing yet. And they're not seeing this in a few weeks down the line.
I guess, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, thanks all for watching.
Yeah, I hope you do well, just not as well as me. That's the bottom line.
Right, well, goodbye.
Goodbye.